solve the Middle East. Everybody has to go over there if you're the president. It looks bad if you don't, you know? Although it would be refreshing if one president said, nah, I'm not going to waste my time. Nothing's going to change over there. I knew that was a good cut. The greatest minds in the world have tried to figure out a solution for this, and nothing. Now, nothing against Bush. He's good at action, standing firm. Doesn't strike me as an idea guy, necessarily. Not the guy that's going to come up with a solution for the Middle East. He's the guy, when you get a good idea, he understands it. But then when he explains it to the nation, you're going, no, that's not what it was. That's not... Let's face it, the Middle East can't be solved. Nobody gets the Palestinians, despite what they keep trying to tell us. They go, you don't get us. You don't get us. We don't care. We think it's like a talk show where everybody wants hugging and forgiveness and closure at the end. No, all over the Arab world, they teach the kids Israel's the devil, must be destroyed. Who's the guy that has the balls to come back from negotiations, sit down at the Hamas meeting and go, listen, the downside, we'll betray the blood of our ancestors and Allah and lose our eternal souls. The upside, I saw a nice two-bedroom in the Golan Heights. Oh, boy! Sharon is in a lose-lose situation. He has pressures from every side. Stephen, what do you think Sharon will do?
I think he's going to give up some land in the West Bank. But I don't think that's really going to solve the problem, because it doesn't change the fact that the West Bank and the Gaza Strip are still separated by this thing called the State of Israel. So to contain the Palestinians, they're going to have to build some sort of giant plexiglass tubes from the Gaza Strip, like a human habit trail between the two. And then it'll be good for the Israeli school children, because they can go, look, Palestinians. Let's feed them pellets.
How's John, by the way?
How's what?
You happy over there?
How's John?
How are you happy over the Daily Show?
He's tiny.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, I said hello.
Hello.
The one thing about the Middle East, I'm really tired of hearing about it. And the Palestinians have got to stop this awful philosophy they're taking of not recognizing Israel as a state. If not recognizing or acknowledging something made it go away, every girl I've ever slept with would have disappeared 5 minutes after we were finished.
You know, I don't think they're never going to solve that. I'm not optimistic about them solving it at all, because, you know, first of all, I mean, the Israelis, they do need their own homeland that's not under terrorist attacks, so that American Jews could send their kids there to get more Jewy. But we do need that. Yeah, we do need that, and that's a problem. But the Palestinians, they don't want the West Bank back in a Palestinian state, and the Arabs more broadly, they're not going to be happy until they have the complete destruction of Israel, because they believe it's God's will that they'll control the entire region and all the world's oil and the American taxi cab industry, and they got 2 out of the 3.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about? Is there a solution to this? Anybody?
Well, I think it's pretty good that they're out there trying to do something, but I agree with Greg in the sense that it really won't work, because neither side, I believe, is really stemming from that point of trying to really get to a point of peace. I mean, these guys, they hate each other. At least that's what I'm getting from the news.
I don't know about that. I mean, some of the people are very reasonable.
Some of them are very reasonable.
I don't know if you've ever explained to a right-wing Zionist about having to give up some of the West Bank to a Palestinian, because the veins on their forehead do this fabulous little dance.
There's the roadmap, which roadmap just seems like such a sort of a trivial approach to the world's most intractable problem, doesn't it? There's a roadmap, which is a weird word anyway, since the Palestinians are barely allowed to drive on any roads, and the Jews, after all, are most famous for being lost in the desert for 40 years. So, not a lot of map reading.
And who's coming up with this roadmap? George W. Bush, is he going to be the one to come up with this master plan that's going to come out and be so perfect?
Yeah, I mean, nobody can solve this. It's depressing, because it just shows you that nothing in the world ever gets solved. It's not just this. Northern Ireland couldn't even get solved, and all the people, there's not even that conflict. It's all they're just Catholic and Protestant. They all look exactly like me. I know, girls. When do you get tickets? Don't worry. But I'm also saying, look, ultimately, the only move would be, which nobody wants to talk about, if the United States gave up Israel, it would be solved. Now, nobody wants to talk about that.
It wouldn't be solved.
It would gave up, like didn't support them.
Right, didn't support them.
Yeah, you're right.
You like that idea, don't you, Stephen? Look at him. He's like,
I can't say so on television.
We could just insist that all the Jews move to the Upper West Side of Manhattan. You know, it's like where 80% of them are anyway. Is that's a strategy.
If George Bush can solve it, I'll vote for him. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I like.
It's
He
unsolvable.
would be Superman if he could solve it.
Yeah.
Well, he's not going to solve
They
it.
trick Clinton. See, they bring over every president just to act like they're going to solve it, and then it never gets solved.
No one's going to solve it. The whole area has like the stability of Jake LaMotta's marriage. They hate each other. It's not even if the Jews weren't there. What, Iran and Iraq are going to get along. They hate each other. So
There's
the whole
no,
area
exactly.
sucks.
There's no, yeah.
Guys, I'm tired of hearing about it.
The whole world is like that. There's always going to be fights everywhere.
Does anyone know anything about Mahmoud Abbas, the new Palestinian leader?
I know he's in deep trouble. But I'm just saying, this is not one of those things that's going to get solved. You know what I mean? There's too much bitter blood. Look, even Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland was an easy situation. We threw a lot of money in there. Everybody almost looks the same. They still hate each other. They're still going to bomb each other. And over there, you got the IRA, the one group that's not terrorists that are actually freedom fighters. And that pisses me off. Go ahead, Stephen. You want one more?
No, just to say, as an Irish person, do you hate the British?
No.
Do any part of you
I'm
dislike
American.
the British? I know, but I'm an Irish, and I was raised in America, but just deep down, I think they're bastards.
The British?
Yeah, deep down, I think they're just bastards. You know, my family got kicked off their land 300 years ago in Tyrone, which is my middle name, and we got sent west of the River Shannon to try to farm rock, and then sent over on a boat on the Noble Dundee, and my great-great-great-uncle Michael died on the passage over, and he was 11, so those bastards.
That was really beautiful. It was almost like a mini-series about Ireland. I like that.
Thank you.
That was really
I can
funny
do it in
about his
brogue.
uncle.
My family was thrown out actually in 1921 from the north.
Oh,
My
really?
grandfather was arrested for, I think, goat sodomy. I don't know what it was, but they threw us out. But we're going to come back.
Fault.
Yes, it was still the British fault.
British goat.
Yeah. Listen, the Surgeon General has determined it's not healthy to leave me alone with these people. So we'll be right back.
Luck.
Makers of TiVo. Makers of TiVo will be selling detailed information about its users to advertisers and programmers. Let's face it, you're worried, there is no privacy to begin with. That's why everybody rips their clothes off on TV all the time. It doesn't matter if the telemarketer from Johnson & Johnson Baby Oil knows that you're possibly a big consumer, even though you don't have children, but you're TiVo, queer as folk, and the only two names on your wish list are Jason Gedrick and Margaret Cho. All right, what's the big deal, Greer?
Well, I'll tell you, Colin, I don't personally think that they should have that sort of access because of the simple fact you don't want people knowing that you may like certain things. Suppose I want to run for a position and they find out that I like watching chocolate asses. Big chocolate asses. 2.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was much better than
and
one.
the third one's in production as we speak. My point is this.
No promos, please.
Okay.
But I think it's good, to be honest with you. I get tired of hearing about how Big Brother's going to invade. Let them finally gear advertising toward me so I don't have to be attacked with douche and tampon commercials every 5 minutes.
Good. Yeah.
But you know, I think that the problem people have with it is not that the information's out there, but that like the TiVo company is selling this stuff and making money, you know, and they're not giving us any break on it. You know, it's like if you want to make money off this information, throw us a bone. You know, you know I watch a lot of porn. Send me a hooker every once in a while.
One of the problems, I think, is they said now that this is going to start to cost them money because advertisers are going to start to ask for discounts because they're going to find out that people are zipping through their commercials and not watching this and they're not going to want to spend
They
as
know
much
that
money.
already, yeah.
Well, that's the advertiser's problem. Stop making these little fairy, unfunny, cutesy commercials. Make something that's interesting and people will watch it. Like you want to sell diet products, show like a bunch of kids throwing rocks at a fat person walking out of McDonald's.
You missed your calling. You could have been advertising big. Now, Greer, you spend a lot of time on the continent, as we used to say in the 1850s.
Right.
What's it like over there with TV? Like England, they pay for the taxes for TV, right?
Yeah, they do. I mean, England was cool. Television's good. They show breasts, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm serious. It's like, I mean, what's the deal? Like, I mean, we see all this other stuff. We got these video games where kids are blowing up aliens and stuff. What's wrong with a pair of breasts?
You're right. Now, let me show you something shocking. First of all, Jim, earlier you made a very good point, but I don't like I've noticed a thing about you now since we've been on the show many times together. Whenever you try to be intelligent, you go, well, I think that, and you put your finger here under your... It's really, you're right, I do that. Not only is it phony, it's irritating.
If you do it,
Yeah, it is a little sloppy.
Well, I was saying, there was a time when it occurred to me.
Jim really thinks he's there.
The good people at Procter & Gamble really stringent on my...
It's almost like he's distracted. Oh, I've been up all night working on my thesis and... Okay, look. Take a look at this insane commercial. This is a real commercial, I swear to God. Watch this.
God saw that it was good, and Jesus says, love thy neighbor as thyself. Yet too many of the cars, trucks, and SUVs that are made, that we choose to drive, are polluting our air, increasing global warming, changing the weather, and endangering our health, especially the health of our children. So if we love our neighbor and we cherish God's creation, maybe we should ask, what would Jesus drive?
That's a real commercial. So the point is, what's the... that to me is tasteless. Not as bad as they had the Muhammad, what ride of truck would he drive? But that was bad too. But this one, it's a real commercial, so what do you think? Tasteless, what?
Can I say I don't know what brand he would drive, but I bet it would be an automatic, because nothing makes driving a stick harder than a hole in your hand.
But what about this? Martin Luther King, they put him in a commercial. At what point, isn't it kind of unethical to put dead people in commercials?
Now, just to be specific, Jesus is not dead. Christ is risen. Christ is here. Christ is now. I don't know how you were raised as a Catholic, but there's a little thing called the resurrection.
Good point.
It kind of ruins the rest of the story if he doesn't come back to life.
No, it does. You're right.
You're right. If he just nailed to a cross and he's dead,
right.
Then it's like, very nice guy.
Yeah.
Very nice guy.
Good guy. That's a good
No,
point.
I don't think it's such a bad idea because, this one will annoy you. St. Thomas More said, those who abandon their private conscience for their public decisions lead their country on a short road to chaos. So why shouldn't we use our religious beliefs to decide what car we buy? What are you going to base it on? Just
But this
how
doesn't-
much? What? Like
this
make it
doesn't
seem like you
stand
got
for
a big
everybody's
penis?
religious belief in America.
Yeah.
What do you say?
This doesn't stand for everybody's religious belief in America. There's different
No,
religions here.
but when we say in God we trust, who do you think they mean?
Well, on the American...
There's nobody going saying like, let's put Zoroaster on a dollar bill.
Well, folks,
Was that pretentious enough, by the way?
I'm impressed by that kind of stuff, so I don't know what that means.
I made it up.
St. Augustine once said, stay tuned. I believe it was Euripides. No, okay, we'll be right back. Last week, an 8th grader from Dallas, Texas, won the National Spelling Bee by spelling the word Poco Curante. We were so inspired by this, tonight we're having our own spelling bee. I've asked Keith Robinson, Rich Voss, and Jim Norton to put their own 8th grade educations to the test. These dummies will be spelling words that I give them. It's all real. They haven't seen any of the words ahead of time. Gentlemen, you'll have 30 seconds to spell your word. You may ask for the word in a sentence. Good luck. Let's start with Keith Robinson. Keith, your word is presumptuous.
Presumptuous. Okay, Colin, can you say that in a sentence, please?
Sure. It was presumptuous for you to question my choice of a joke in this clip. Here's the point.
What is the point? Okay.
I used to live when I lived in Bay Ridge, we lived right near a bar, and people would, every night it was the same thing. Drinking, fighting, cursing, screaming, urinating, and their vandalism. Finally, they told me, you can't come in anymore. Well, I'll tell you something.
Hey, Bob Hope, that was great. Take my wife,
I
please.
guess you haven't been around comedy lately. Apparently, it's uncool if you put a punchline at the end of a joke. It was presumptuous of you to question me when everybody here knows your act is a terrible collection of observations you found in the garbage behind Sinbad's house. Presumptuous. Spell it.
All right. Presumptuous. It works. P. Wait a minute. This is my SAT
That's too late. You're done. All right, next up is Rich Voss. Mr. Voss, your word is oxymoron or oxymoronic. Yes, it's a real word.
Can you please use that in a sentence, Mr. Quinn?
Yes, of course. Judaic law dictates that you cannot be buried as a proper Jew if you have a tattoo. So it would be oxymoronic to get a tattoo to show your Jewish pride. It would be oxymoronic and incredibly stupid, and every word was moronic. It would probably be. Show us your tattoo, Mr. Boss, please. Now, please spell the word. Show us you're not totally worthless.
Oxymoron. O-X-I-M-O-R-O-N.
What'd you say? All right.
I spelled
yes,
it.
Yes, you did.
I spelled it right, too.
All right. Finally, Jim Norton, please come up here. Now, James, your word is blasphemy, James. Can you use it in a sentence? Oh, you're going to ask me that, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Gladly. All right, wait.
Can you read the monitor?
Shut
Stupid.
Up. All right. Okay, I'll use it in a sentence, please. It bordered on blasphemy that night when you shamelessly hit on Linda, the waitress at the Comedy Cellar, by pretending to agree that the Academy Awards are racist. The blasphemy came from your disgusting fake compassion at the plight of black people when we both know full well you couldn't give a damn, you just wanted to get into her pants. Now, I know this is a hard word, so I put together a little reenactment. I've asked someone to come help me. Linda, please, for 1 second. That's Linda. She'll play herself. I'll be playing the part of Jim Norton. I was there when this happened, so it's not that. So, yeah, I totally agree with you about the Oscars. It's really time Angela Bassett got a little respect in racist Hollywood.
You really care about this, don't you?
Of course I do. I mean, what Hollywood does to our talented black actors today, it's almost blasphemy. Now spell it, stupid.
B-L-A-S-P-H-E-M-Y. Blasphemy.
That's very good. I don't know if that makes up for the fact that you actually took the pain and tragedy of 300 years of slavery and used it to try to get laid.
Look at how hot she is.
She is hot. That doesn't excuse your awful lack of character.
Can I sit down now?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Did you spell it right?
Of course I did, stupid.
I don't even know if you spelled it right. I don't know what's worse. The fact that this awful spelling bee, that they're actually proud that they got those dumb words right. Or they keep ashamed to even try his stupid words.
Boss didn't get oxymoron right.
Yeah.
O-X-I?
That was wrong.
You're as stupid as he is.
I thought he said why.
First of all, no, he's not as stupid as I am.
No, it's
O-X-I. What is it?
Yes, why?
O-X-Y, you dummy.
We'll be right back after this break. Once again, students are graduating, and graduation is about reflection, a little bit about ecstasy and binge drinking, but you've been asked to give the commencement speech at your alma mater. What advice do you have for the new grads? Stephen Colbert.
Thank you, Colin. You know, as I look out at the sea of eager faces, there is so much advice I want to impart, but let me first address the young women in the audience who face so many special challenges today. To ease your transition into the working world, I think the smartest thing you could do is have a discreet but passionate affair with a man in his late 30s. It would do wonders for your self-confidence, and I know that this unnamed man would be very happy to help. But I cannot stress the discreet part strongly enough. He loves his family and would never want to hurt them. But I also want to stress the passionate part. I really don't think you get the full benefit of this unless the sex were crazy. I mean, really crazy. Things that would get you tossed out of Thailand.
Greg Giraldo.
Remember, graduates, stay positive. Life is short and you'll be dead soon. Trust me, it seems like only yesterday I was your age, pulling out and praying every month. So enjoy what's left of your youth. And remember, learn from my mistakes. If a guy ever sits next to you in a pizza place and says, "Why are you staring at my boy, man?" And you say, "I'm not staring at anybody." And he says, "Yo, how'd you like my Adidas in your mouth?" don't tell him to go f*** himself. Unless you really want to get kicked in the face.
All right, Greer Barnes.
I never graduated from college, but I'm going to commence on this here address. All of my friends and family who did graduate from college, they wanted me to share you with this. They're unemployed. And they also wanted me to say, thanks, college. See, I am employed. Thanks, Colin.
All right, ready? Jim Norton.
The only bits of wisdom I can give you on applying for a job comes from my own experience. First of all, don't be shy about stretching the truth a little on an application. Under the heading, reasons for leaving last job, trust me, never put, I called my boss a queer. And certainly don't put, they fired me because I couldn't get along with colored people.
All right, I guess that's it. Folks, remember, commencement is not the end of your education. It's the beginning of moving back home. So good night. Take care. We'll see you soon.